What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV. Now I do a lot of comparisons on the channel, and one of the most common debates that occurs in the comment section of my videos is the age-old Apple versus Android debate. Now Apple and Android are the biggest players in the smartphone and tablet market right now, and both have their advantages and disadvantages. And in this video I'll be highlighting what I think are the top 5 advantages Apple devices have over Android devices. Android fanboys, don't worry, I've done a top 5 advantages of Android devices over Apple devices, and you can check that out right here. Now I'll be looking at generic advantages and not any specific devices as such, so do hit that thumbs up button and let's get straight to it. Advantage number 5 is the Apple service and support system. You've got lots of stores, Apple stores, which you can go to if you've got any issues, and you can also call up the numbers on the website. This is because the manufacturer and the software provider of the hardware and software is Apple themselves. Whereas with Android, because you've got a range of manufacturers that are separate from the software suppliers, you sometimes can be confused in terms of where to go for. You usually have to go to your network provider or where you actually bought the phone from. To give you an example, with the Nexus 7, there was a lot of people I knew that had some issues with the devices and could not get in touch with anybody. They were going from Google, they were being referred to as ASUS, and ASUS back to Google, and that's the separation between the hardware and the software manufacturers. You're sort of confused of where to go. With Apple, you don't have that issue as such. You can go over to a store and get advice and service straight there and then. Advantage number 4 is simple choices. Although Android has a huge variety, which is great, it can sometimes be very confusing for the user which one to go for, which device to go for. With Apple, you just have the latest iPhone or the latest iPad. It's very, very simple for a consumer to go out there and just get a device. They're not too confused about which one to go for. This is one of the things that I aim to do on my channel, is simplify the differences, key differences between many devices to help a consumer make an informed choice. Advantage number 3 is resale value. Apple devices generally do not drop in price as much as Android devices. There's a few reasons for this. The first is obviously Android has a lot more competition within Android itself. We've got lots of different manufacturers which are always competing, so this brings down the prices there. And with Apple, they do not drop the value of their devices until the next device is announced or released. So for instance, the iPhone 5 will still be at the same price on the Apple website up until the next iPhone 5S or iPhone 6 is announced. So because of this, they maintain a higher value long term. To give you an example, when I bought my HTC Desire, on the same day a friend of mine bought the iPhone 4. 2 years on, we went to check the resale value. The HTC Desire was worth 25% of what it was initially worth, and the iPhone 4 was worth 50%. So there was a drop of 75% for the HTC Desire, whereas the iPhone 4, there was only a 50% drop. Advantage number 2 is consistency. Apple devices have iOS and they have the latest version generally for the later models. However, with Android, you've got a series of different manufacturers who usually put on their own software above Android and their own skins. For instance, you've got TouchWiz for Samsung, and you've got HTC Sense for the HTC devices, etc. And what this means is that updates are not generally consistent with Android updates. So for instance, with my S3, I had to wait a few months, actually it was about 3 months plus, to get the latest version of Android Jelly Bean, and that can be very frustrating for a lot of users because they're not getting the latest features that Android is providing because they're at the mercy of their manufacturer. With Apple, on the other hand, you get updates across the board on all of their latest devices. Advantage number 1 is the Apple App Store. Now, although the Google Play Store is improving massively at a fast pace, the Apple App Store does have more optimized apps generally. You're going to be getting more optimized apps, and I think the reason for this is that with Apple, you've only got a handful of devices to look for. So as a developer, you only have to look at a few different screen sizes and a few different specifications. Whereas with Android, because of the huge variety that you have to look at hundreds of different devices, lots of different screen sizes, resolutions, different specifications, and it can be more difficult for a developer to have an optimized app on the Google Play Store than it would be on the Apple App Store. And generally, most of the big apps will come on Apple before they come onto Android. Instagram is an example, it was on Apple before it was on Android. The latest Facebook update on Apple before it was on Android. So generally speaking, you're going to be getting more optimized apps on Apple. So those were my top 5 advantages Apple devices have over Android devices. What are your top 5 advantages? Do drop me a comment below and let me know. And why not do a video response to this video, and really let me know your thoughts. I'd be interested to know what other people think. Once again, I think it is important to remember that it is down to personal preference. Some people like tea, some people like coffee, some people like Apple, some people like Android, and it has nothing to do with anybody's sexual preference or anybody's mother. I mean, I've said it a few times, but it's really hilarious, some of the comments that I get on my videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel for plenty more videos to come. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.